Qala Rabbi Shrahli Sadri wa Yassirli Amri Wahalul Ugdatam min Lisani Yafqahu Qawli Rabbi Zidni Ilma. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Tariq Masood. Thank you very much for your wonderful feedback and watching my videos. Without your contribution, we cannot make this channel a grand success. We are partners. Please subscribe, share, and like our channel. As a team, we can convert challenges into opportunities and opportunities into success stories. These success stories can be converted into value additions. Thank you very much again. Today we are going to discuss stress management. Stress management comprises of 3 lectures. First lecture is flexibility, second stress tolerance, and number 3 will be optimism. Today we will run a complete trail on flexibility. Okay, now we are still discussing stage 2, emotional intelligence of leadership versatility index. On later stage, personality assessment, organizational behavior. Okay, what is the balanced emotional intelligence? Happiness, satisfied with life and content. Happiness includes feelings of satisfaction, contentment, and the ability to enjoy the many aspects of one's life. It is different than the other emotional intelligence abilities in that happiness both contributes to and is a product of emotional intelligence. As you know, balanced emotional intelligence comprises of 4 segments: self-regard, optimisms, interpersonal relationship, and self-actualizations. What is self-regard? If you could improve one facet of your life, what would it be? Why? Aside from material things, what is it about you that makes you truly happy? In optimisms, when are you the least optimistic? How could your outlook be improved in these situations? When faced with a new challenge, how do you typically feel? List your emotions and think about why you feel this way. In number 3, interpersonal relationship. Are there times when you struggle with your relationship? If so, what causes the struggle and how do you remedy conflict and miscommunication? Do you have a mentor? Do you act as a mentor to someone else? Number 3, self-actualizations. Identify that you value most in life. Are you spending enough time on the activities most important to you? What legacy will you leave behind? So these are the well-being indicators how the emotional intelligence reflect as far as leadership versatility index is concerned. Okay, flexibility, lesson number 1. So adopting emotion, thoughts and behaviors. So what is basically flexibility? Is adopting emotion, thoughts and behavior to unfamiliar, unpredictable and dynamic circumstances or ideas. After completion of this lecture, following points you will take away. Number 1, understanding flexibility, emotional implications of flexibility, social and behavior implications, emotional analysis of flexibility, and last, brainstorming of flexibility. These are the 5 key takeaway points from this lecture. Okay, last couple of months we have run a complete trail and published 12 lectures, 3 lectures on each segment: self-perceptions, self-expressions, interpersonal decisions making. Now we have started stress management. Stress management also includes 3 lectures. So before starting a stress management, I would like to give a brief about self-perception, expression, interpersonal decisions making. Okay, first we will talk about self-perception, brief about the self-regard, self-actualization, self-awareness. What is the self-regard? Self-regard, respecting oneself while understanding and accepting one's strengths and weaknesses. Self-regard is often associated with feelings of inner strength and self-confidence. That is number one. Number two, self-actualization is the willingness to persistently try to improve oneself and engage in pursuit of personally relevant and meaningful objectives that lead to a rich and enjoyable life. Number three, self-awareness. This is also known as emotional self-awareness, which includes recognizing and understanding one's own emotions. This includes the ability to differentiate between subtleties in one's own emotions while understanding the cause of these emotions and the impact they have on one's own thoughts and action and those of others. So, now we are going to talk about self-expressions. First, emotional expression, assertiveness and independence pulse. First, I will give some pulse on emotional expressions. Is openly expressing one's feeling verbally and non-verbally. Number two, assertiveness involves communicating feelings, beliefs, and thoughts openly and defending personal rights and values in a social, acceptable, non-offensive, and non-destructive manners. Number three, independence. The ability to be self-directed and free from emotional dependency on others. Decisions making, planning, and daily tasks are completed independently. So that is number two. Number three, interpersonal, and it also includes three sections: interpersonal relationship, empathy, and social responsibilities. Interpersonal relationship, the skill of developing and maintaining a mutual satisfying relationship that are characterized by trust and compassion. Number two, empathy, recognizing, understanding, and appreciating how other people feel. Empathy involves being able to articulate your understanding of an other's perspective and behaving in a way that respect others' feelings. Okay, number three, a social responsibility. Social responsibility is willingly contributing to society, to one's social group, and generally to the welfare of others. Social responsibility involves acting responsibility, having a social consciousness, and showing concern for the greater community objectives. Okay, now decisions making. First is a problem solving, then reality testing and impulse control. Problem solving is the ability to find a solution to problems in situations where emotions are involved. Problem solving includes the ability to understand how emotions impact decisions making. Reality testing is the capacity to remain objective by seeing things as they really are. This capacity involves recognizing when emotions or personal bias can cause one to be less objective. Number three, impulse control is the ability to resist or delay an impulse, drive, or temptation to act and involves avoiding rash behavior and decisions making. Number fifth, stress management. So we will discuss a flexibility, stress tolerance, and optimism, and then we'll give a complete trail on flexibility. Okay, flexibility is the adopting emotions, thoughts, and behavior to unfamiliar, predictable, and dynamic circumstances or ideas. Number two, stress tolerance involves coping with stressful or difficult situation and believing that one can manage or influence situations in a positive manner. Number three, optimism is an indicator of one's positive attitude and outlook on life. It involves remaining hopeful and resilient despite occasional setback. So that is how these 5 segments are being discussed. Please explore my YouTube channel and you can give me your input feedback on 12th lecture already available on my YouTube channel. Okay, model of emotional intelligence, stress management. Today we'll give a complete trail on flexibility. Later on we'll discuss stress tolerance, and then lecture number 3 will be optimism. What is flexibility? Flexibility is adopting emotions, thoughts, and behavior to unfamiliar, unpredictable, and dynamic circumstances or ideas. What is stress tolerance? Involves coping with stressful or difficult situation and believing that one can manage or influence situation in a positive manner. Number 3, optimisms is an indicator of one's positive attitude and outlook on life. It involves remaining hopeful and resilient despite occasional setback. These 2 lectures we will discuss next couple of weeks. Flexibility. Adopting emotion, thoughts and behaviors. Thoughts and behavior to unfamiliar, predictable and dynamic circumstances or ideas. Okay, flexibility, adopting emotions, thoughts and behavior. Flexibility requires that you must be able to modify your thoughts, emotion and behaviors in response to change. More often, if you appear to be rigid in the way you approach work and life in general, you likely thrive in an environment with strict guidance to follow and stable priorities. However, most workplaces today are in dynamic and rapid state of change. This may be an area to strengthen. And number 1, unwillingness to change the way you work. For example, how you store your email, managing customer accounts, who you report to, moving from one project to another. Number 2, sometimes you feel uneasy or nervous about the change. Number 3, your view of change is, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Number 4, you approach organization changes with trepidations as far as flexibility is concerned. Okay, impact at work as far as the flexibility is concerned. First is the emotional implications. When people are less flexible, they are usually allowing emotions to have a bigger voice and their objective reasoning. Being flexible is about making a choice. Do I keep doing the same things or do I change? Number 1. Number 2, be aware of when your emotions take over. These decisions of instance when anger or frustrations conviction you that your old way of doing things is just fine and change isn't necessary. That is how emotional implication at work. Okay, flexibility, impact at work, social and behavior implication are concerned. You may have difficulty by adopting your emotions, thoughts and behaviors to change conditions on workplace. As a result, your colleagues may perceive you as a rigid and unwilling to change, which may result in missed opportunities for leadership and becoming old fashions in your area of expertise. While others might tackle a new idea, product, or strategy with passion, you may find yourself overwhelmed, scared, or worried about adjusting to the change, and thereby fail behind the crowd of change spotters. So that how the things are happening as far as social and behavior implication are concerned. Okay, my next slide is flexibility, strategies for actions, emotion analysis. If you find yourself resisting change, write down what emotions accompany your hesitations. Number 1, for each emotion, use your self awareness to identify the reasons you are feeling this way. For example, your fear of change comes from the possibility of making mistakes. Number 2, work through your list of emotions and their causes to find a tangible evidence to support or invalidate your emotions. For example, if you are afraid to make a mistake, start gathering all the possible resources and expert advice to help keep your fear at bay when tackling this a new challenge as far as emotion analysis is concerned. Brainstorming strategy for actions. Brainstorming, especially when performed in a group context, will enable you to take on a new perspectives and harvest these options for future context. Before you begin, brainstorming options bring about a positive mood in yourself or in the group. Positive emotions help to facilitate creativity and will allow you to remain open to any idea brought forth as far as the brainstorming strategy is concerned. Okay, this is my last slide. I'm going to conclude flexibility, balancing emotional intelligence. We have compared flexibility, problem solving, independence, and impulse control. The subskill that differs the most from your flexibility is independence. Improving the interplay between these subskills is likely to significantly impact your overall emotional intelligence. Okay, your flexibility is lower than your independence. Balancing these components of emotional intelligence can be tricky since the goal is to be open and responsive to change. But you want to maintain an ability to act and think independently. The key is to be willing to change while standing firm when it is important for you to do so. Often you can leverage your independence by implementing strategies to help execute change brought on by others. Thank you very much and stay blessed. Please don't hesitate. Send me your feedback on comments t.masood.dr@bath.edu. Thank you very much again and stay blessed.